All right, welcome back to the Classic Motorsports Workshop. We are working with fiberglass yet again, and I've got an expert in here helping me. This is David Higgs. He's co-owner of Higgs Automotive Paint and Supplies. You know, every time we mention how you can get this at a local paint and supply place, this is the place where we get it in Holly Hill, Florida. And I went down there to ask him some technical information about how to gel coat. And how to do something better than gel coat. But we'll get into that. What we have here is a pair of doors from our Elva Mark 6 sports racer. I have finished all the fiberglass work on them. So at this point, you can spray gel coat, you can brush gel coat, or you can use a modern primer. In the old days, you could not really do anything on fiberglass until you gel coated it, correct?
Correct. Some people would use lacquer primers and they'd have problems with them shrinking or cracking. Today's primers, the urethane primers, are so much farther advanced. You can put 4 to 6 coats of urethane primer on to fill any of your imperfections. Then it's easy to block sand with 150. If you get the primer looking the way you want it, I'll typically put one more coat on that's been thinned down with urethane reducer. I'll let that dry overnight. 400 wet sand. Everything looks good, I'll typically paint it. At that point, if you're going to do gel coat, you would do the same type of process with gel coat. You would put 2 coats of gel coat down, sand that, and see if you needed to fix any imperfections. And then you could either buff the gel coat if it looked good to you, or you could put another coat of gel coat over it. Depending on how smooth you sprayed it out, I've seen guys that are pretty good at spraying gel coat. I've seen it where it's really heavy orange peel. You're going to start with maybe a 220 or a 400. Knock that down, as long as you have plenty of material on there.
Right. If you go through, you got to start over again.
Well, you can still get it closer because
Okay.
you're going to be filling in your imperfections with those first few coats of gel coat.
Okay.
Then you're going to sand it, reapply gel coat. If everything's looking pretty good and smooth, you can sand it and polish the gel coat. Some intricate areas on parts like this are hard to polish. You know, if you've ever polished anything small or motorcycle parts, if you go to a 3-inch polisher, it's not so bad. But that's another big advantage with paint, where you base coat, clear coat it, you can get a real nice finish, and you can buff the front surface you can see, but your jam areas and stuff, you don't have to get quite as critical with. Sanding gel coat gums up sandpaper. So for me, when I've done a lot of fiberglass work, I like to prime it, because you can block sand urethane primer with 150 and it blocks sand so nice and easy, and you can see where your imperfections are. When you start block sand and gel coat, you seem like you go through a lot of paper, and you still, if you have imperfections, you have to reapply gel coat.
So let's talk a little bit about durability, paint versus gel coat.
The gel coat is typically 3 to 4 times thickness of paint. Gel coat is thicker.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit more durable in a situation like a boat bumping up against a dock.
Or race car or something
or
like
a race car. It's going to be a little more durable that way. A little harder to repair to get your blend.
Yeah.
Paint's a little easier, especially with clear coat. A lot of the boat manufacturers now, Boston Whaler, Everglades boats, when they pop a boat out of the mold, they'll have it basically white, and actually all the sides now are painted with automotive paint.
Oh, really?
They prime them and they paint them. Because you see these really pretty boats now that have got metallic finishes. Well, the boat itself is gel coat, but then they paint the sides.
Okay.
So they're using the best of both worlds. The bottom of your hull is fiberglass and gel coat. Your sides have the beautiful finish like a brand new car has.
Okay. Let's assume you've decided you want gel coat.
Right.
There's various ways to put gel coat on,
Sure.
depending on how much you're going to do. You could do it with a brush.
Yep.
And you told me it's worth it to get a decent brush, because most people think to use these brush, cheap glue brush type thing.
So the cheap chip brushes are great for putting on resin. And you'll notice a lot of times you're putting resin on, you'll get 3 or 4 hairs out of it. So these work great for resin. You can use them for gel coat. Understand you're going to probably get some hair in your gel coat. And if it's a rough patch, that's fine. If you're going to sand it and polish it, that's also fine. If you step up to a little bit higher quality brush that you can either clean out with acetone, you don't lose the hairs, it's going to be a lot smoother finish. You're going to spend a little bit more money, you're going to get a better job.
All right, so let's say you've got to do a whole car, you're probably going to want to spray.
Correct.
So what are the options for types of spraying?
Gravity feed is the most common. This particular gun here is a 1.4, which I would use for base coat, clear coat paint. but they make them in a 1/8 all the way up to a 2.5, and I like the 2.0.
And you're talking about the tip size.
It's going to be, yeah, your needle and tip size.
Okay.
And that's going to spray gel coat a lot better. I have a lot of customers that are very good at spraying gel coat, and they'll lay it out just like paint. They'll use styrene to thin it. It works better than acetone as far as thinning it goes, and let it flow out. And they make a product called Patch Booster. And if you're doing a spot repair, it helps you blend that material in.
Okay.
So if you have a boat and you have a repair on the side of it, you don't want to paint the whole entire boat, especially on a 25 or 30 foot boat.
Yeah.
So you're going to do your repair, maybe get 2 coats of gel coat on there, and your last coat, you're going to thin that down and blow it out so you can blend it off. Hopefully you get a good blend where you don't have to do much buffing.
Okay.
But yeah, you can really lay it down with a paint gun.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so we've got 2 doors. Thankfully, they're tiny, so it won't take very long. So why don't we gel coat one to show folks how that works, and then we'll prime the other. You have to start with a clean, sanded surface.
Clean sanded surface.
Do you run Prepsol over it?
I don't like to run Prepsol over it because the fiberglass is porous, it'll absorb it, and you can get little pimples afterwards if it gets out in the sun when it's trying to escape. So I'll just use either a lacquer thinner or acetone, wipe it down real quick.
Okay.
Give it 15 or 20 minutes to dry, and then apply the gel coat.
All right, so you said we could probably, I mean, just to do the top one.
4 ounces, 5 ounces.
Okay. All right, so as you be to see here, this is, it's already white, like we talked about.
Right.
You want to mix this stuff up pretty well.
I think 4 is probably plenty.
Yeah. Then we are going to add, you said 10 drops of the hardener in per ounce. So what I normally do is I'll count out 40 drops and give it a little extra squirt, but maybe that's stupid.
It doesn't hurt anything.
So, all right, and then you just take a paint stick, available at Higgs.
Yep. We give those away for free.
I know.
Paint sticks and
And you like to mix this up for like a minute, right?
I do. I like to scrape the side of the container to make sure I haven't missed any with hardener in it.
All right. You trust me?
I do.
So if you use this brush.
This is your car, so.
Yeah. So as you can see.
You're getting some brush streaks.
Yeah. So just for kicks.
We haven't lost any hairs out of it yet. But
no.
But usually beginning.
Now this stuff does kind of flow out a little bit too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It will kind of lay itself down. Nice even strokes, I'm assuming here.
Yep.
Now if you have a little bubble, or I mean, it's okay to kind of
you can
fill that in a little bit. That doesn't hurt anything.
Nope. Because like I said, you're probably going to sand this and polish it afterwards, or you're going to sand it and recoat it again.
Yeah. So when I first talked to you, I didn't even realize you could use primer, so I only thought gel coat. So this is kind of a revelation. Of course, my knowledge is, you know, I grew up in a body shop back in the 70s, and that's, you know, technology was different back then.
Yeah, it's gotten,
so it does.
People are scared of the new technology, but once you get used to it, it's so much easier than what it used to be. People use lead.
I learned
they
lead.
Brush primer, they brush lacquer. Now the urethane primers, 2 heavy coats of a nice urethane primer, and it fills in a lot of imperfections that we're seeing right now by just brushing a gel coat straight over this fiberglass.
Yeah, so far I wouldn't say this is a great system, but
that's why I prefer to prime them and paint them.
Well, what you were saying is if I wanted, I could sand this down and prime right over it, and having that little bit of gel coat on there doesn't hurt us a bit.
It's not going to hurt you a bit, no, once that gel coat cures out. But it's just an added step that you really don't need to take if you're going to go with the priming and painting route.
But as we discussed, if you're building a boat, it's a little different situation.
Yeah, you're going to put more material on there. It's going to be a little bit more durable. And the gel coat is actually less expensive than paint.
Yeah. All right, so we got the first one gel coated.
Yep.
Let's mix up some primer.
That's
and prime this one. And what we'll do is we'll just hang it by this hook.
Be a lot easier to hang it and spray it.
So we'll take it in the other room and spray it and hang it.
Get the primer mixed up here. And
take it away. You know, everybody says, oh, it costs thousands in materials to paint something these days.
You can spend thousands in material. You can spend 500 in material. I mean, the better quality material, does produce a little bit nicer paint job.
And would you consider this a high quality product? Or?
Yeah, this is middle of the road. It's less
road.
expensive and it's more expensive. The big thing with the vehicle is, what are you going to be doing with it? Is it going to be in the sun every day? We live in Florida here. If your car is going to be in the sun every day, the better quality clear is going to last longer.
Okay.
For sure. If it's going to be kept in a garage, it's probably going to last 20 years.
Yeah.
The cheaper quality.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a little bit better shine out of the higher quality product,
So
but you're going to pay a lot more for the high quality clears. Some primers, this one doesn't require it, have an induction period where you mix up your activator, then you have to wait 30 minutes, or even some of them are up to an hour. These are just mix it, spray it.
So if you spray outside, you have to deal with bird poop and humidity and other leaves and other elements.
Right.
If you paint inside, you've got to deal with health hazards. So,
Correct. So if you're outside, you still should wear a respirator. Spraying primer isn't such a big deal. You can do it outside. You're going to sand it anyway. So if you do get trash in it, you're going to sand it out. Spraying your final paint, you're going to want to spray it in a cleaner environment if you have one. We put 1 coat of primer on there. We're going to let that flash for 15 minutes, maybe 20. We have plenty of primer left. We're going to go in there and we're going to give it another good heavy coat. And then we'll let that dry overnight, and we'll be ready to 150 block sand it and see where we're at. Okay. It won't be perfect because there's, I can see some pits in there in the gel coat. Yeah. But we'll fill in 80% of the cracks and stuff that was imperfections that were in that surface.
You would use putty to fill the bigger?
I'd use a 2-part glazing putty.
So there's no
like
reason
body filler
for any Bondo at this point?
No, it's basically like a body filler, but it's really smooth, and you use it with a catalyst, so you can put it on and sand it in 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then we would fill in all those imperfections, sand that, would give it another nice heavy coat of primer, let that dry overnight, and if everything looks good, we would wet sand it with 400 and would continue on with paint.
You've obviously got years of experience, but this is something regular people can do.
Yeah,
in
regular
their garages.
people can do this. Yeah.
And
body shop labor is up in the, any of the restoration guys are up in the $90 to $130 an hour
don't
range.
I know that.
So if you can do the work yourself and watch some of these videos, and you'll make some mistakes. Everybody does, but they're all fixable.
Your store is fantastic. It's got everything, and unlike online, you get real advice when you come to your place. Right. You might not go to everybody's house to help them.
Right.
But
we're there on the phone, and if you're in Connecticut or Georgia, there's going to be a local paint supply store in your area.
Every town of 100,000 people.
Every town, it might not be your town, it might be the town next to you, it's a bigger town.
But every town has a place like Higgs.
Yeah, professional paint supply store that can help you through these issues.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
We're glad to help.
Appreciate you helping us.
Thanks, Tim.
If you like this sort of stuff, please like and subscribe to our channel, and check out our website. Every step of the way on this Elva Sports Racer is up on the site, and we do this kind of stuff all the time. Thanks for coming to the workshop. Have a good day.
If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And to see more stories like this, visit us online at classicmotorsports.com.